Everybody, Chris and Tanya. Oh, Tanya's not here right now. She was just here. Chris with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal in Palm Beach County, Florida. We are going through separating all of our copper and brass into these little 5-gallon buckets. And then when they all get full, and not just this one here, we bring them up to the scrap yard and cash it in. We try not to do it in small amounts because it's a little bit of a drive for us. It's like 45 minutes away. So this is what we kind of do in the meantime. And I wanted to make a quick little video because I get people all the time in my comment sections that say, why don't you scrap this? Why do you scrap that? Especially because I say, we'll put this off to the side at our house for our scrapper to pick up. It is mind-blowing for some people as to why we have a scrapper when we could scrap ourselves because it's such a common junk removal thing. Because I don't want to spend the time. That's why. I don't want to spend the labor of storing it on my side yard. I'm in an HOA community. You know what I already have on my side yard? 50 fucking trash cans that I'm already not supposed to have here. You think I want to have a bunch of metal here all the time? No. I put it out, it's gone the next day. The scrapper takes it, he's retired. It's supplemental income to his Social Security. I'm helping him out, he's helping me out. The world's a better place, right? Now, that's just a small tangent on why we don't go super crazy with it. What we do hang on to though is copper and brass. Why? Because it comes in small quantities and it is a much more valued item versus just plain metal. It doesn't take as much time and I don't need to bring my trailer with me to go drop it off. I can load it all up in my truck bed and get even more money out of it than I would if I was loading up metal. So the reason for this video is, and this is just my 2 cents, you know, this is my experience and this is just me, okay? But when I first started scrapping, right, I didn't start scrapping until probably 2 years into my business. When I lived at my apartment, I didn't bring much home unless it was furniture I was trying to sell on Facebook or it was for me to keep. I wasn't really doing scrapping. It wasn't until I moved in with Tanya, which is where we currently are, that I started doing that because I had a little bit more space to do things. What are you making noise for? These birds are outrageous. All they do is walk around and shit everywhere and then you step in it. And it's green and blends in with the grass. Crazy. So, when I started getting into scrap metal, I was learning a lot from people like Andy Weiss, who, if you don't know him, check him out on YouTube. He's very informative. They do like large scale scrapping. And a few other guys, I don't remember names specifically, but they were saying like, hey, if you get like a speaker, no, there's a magnet in there you can use and you can bust out this little part here and use that. And in my mind, I was like, ooh, I would come across stuff like that all the time. I'll do that. In reality, probably could have sold that speaker for like 20, 50 bucks, you know, depending on the brand. I remember specifically finding this really cool brass lamp, solid brass. I think probably weighed 15, 20 pounds. Super cool looking, a little dirty, but brass isn't the hardest to clean up and is considered a vintage item, so it's kind of expected to be a little dirty. Anyways, brass lamp, you know what I did? I cut the cord, took off the lampshade, popped out the little socket thing with the wires, kept those, and I scrapped the lamp. Now, before I did all that, I took a picture of it just in case. Because remember, we were doing reselling, and we still are. I remember looking up the lamp and finding something similar to the $70 to $100 range. And my first instinct was scrap metal. Boop, boop, shh, boop, into the pile. And I had that mentality for a while. I was doing that for a lot of things. And what I've come to realize is if you're gonna resell anyways, it takes a little bit more time, but it's not like you have to do extra labor. And I know a lot of people do scrapping and junk removal as just making extra side income. Like the junk removal is the money part, right? That's where you're making your profit. This is just quick little side task. And once a month you go drop it off and you make an extra 100, 200 bucks, right? It's just cash money, whatever you want to spend it on. But I think there's a lot of value in utilizing things once they have been machinery built. I don't know if that's a correct term. You know, something that's been manufactured into something. For example, this copper pot here, you know, this thing on its own could probably sell for, you know, 10 bucks in a garage sale because people still use copper. They still use brass items. Why? Because they have been proven to be good for you. And once it's built like this, this has much more value than something that is just a solid, you know, copper pipe or something that hasn't been manufactured into anything. this copper planter down here. This thing is 24 inches wide and 12 inches deep. It's a little beat up. I could probably still sell it on Facebook easily for 30 to 40 bucks, maybe even more. I have another one, it's a little rusted out, but I could probably sell that for 15, 20. People still like those vintage looks, and copper and brass usually falls under that realm. And it just took me a while to fully comprehend how much more value there is in copper and brass when it comes to reselling them and repurposing them versus just scrap. I'm not going to throw out the guy's channel because he has popped up in the junk removal world a few times, but I was watching this video and he was specifically doing scrap metal, and he was picking up metal out of people's trash. And he had come across this box that had a ceiling fan fixture in it, and it had a bunch of these little brass like teacup things, a whole set of it in pretty good condition. My first instinct was, we brought a similar set like that to our auctioneer and it sold for like $180. Now we get 70% of that, so we don't get the whole thing, but still, I think we got like 105 for it or something. It was grouped in with a bunch of other stuff. You know, his first instinct was, ooh, brass. Chucked it into the little brass bucket, similar bucket style that we have here. Just chucked it in there. And when I saw that, I was like, bud, don't do that. And I commented, I was like, hey, those little tea sets, try to sell those, don't just scrap them. And he replied to my comment and said, too late. Now this is going back a couple of months, but things like that, like I know it would take a few extra minutes to, you know, wipe them down with a paper towel, post them on Facebook and list them for 50 bucks, you know, and maybe nobody buys it after a couple of months and then you go scrap it. But there's a lot of things out there that are just so much higher value than what we're going to scrap them for. Like I remember bringing up, and like I tried selling these too. We got them off of these two clean outs. It was like this brass like pocket watch thing that you put up on the table stand, a little tripod, a couple of like brass fitted, I don't know, like little decor objects. One of them was like a little like miniature deer. I tried selling all of them on eBay and Facebook. Didn't have much luck with all of them. Sold a couple, but not all. And after a while, I was like, well, these aren't selling. I'm just gonna throw them in the scrap pile because that's where we're heading to. When I dropped them off on the scale, guess what happened? 4 of the attendants came over and started picking through the pile. They gave me my money, but they started picking through, looking it up, taking a picture of it. One of the guys was like, I can't believe you just dropped off that little watch thing. That thing looks like it's on eBay for $150. And I was like, yeah, it's on there, but you know, it's fucking hard to sell. And they're like, hey, a couple of clicks and you let us sit. You know, this is not like his couch is not taking up room. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And we do that with a lot of stuff, but you know, like everyone else, eventually we get impatient and we resort to Facebook or whatever. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you do scrapping and you're doing it for the sake of making money, then I would encourage you to look into the fact that you can probably get more out of it by selling certain items, not all. I'm not saying, you know, oh, we got this little aluminum pot over here, let's try to sell it just because, you know, like, you don't have to do that. You can go to Goodwill and buy it for $3, you know. But if you come across like, you know, vintage brass mirrors, right? This is a pretty cool little mirror here. Now I left it outside because we were in a hurry and I wasn't focused on it. I kind of like, I hate that fact because I was looking at it. That is some pretty good detail. Solid brass all the way through. The back didn't look like that when I got it. That's something I probably could have sold for a few bucks easily. Like something like that, people love that stuff, you know. And like I have oodles and oodles, I have bundles of stuff like that that you could sell it for just so much more. So that's just my little tangent on the subject. It popped up. We're gonna be heading to the expo this week, so that's why we're just kind of doing a little cleanup before we head out of here. If you're going to the junk expo, we will see you there. This video is gonna probably go up right before we leave, so crazy sorting through all this crap. We brought 4 truckloads of stuff to donation. Like, we resell a lot, we donate a lot, and we resell a lot. And we had so much just backed up over the last couple of months. We had the accident that happened and that kind of threw everything into a loop and just so disorganized. And we're trying to get back to being organized, so we're just trying to filter through what's worth selling, what's worth like just getting rid of, and just separating everything, running trips of donation, getting stuff posted online. And the scrap metal part was my last piece of the puzzle. So once we get this organized, I'll set off to the side. We'll probably run a trip to the scrapyard just so when we come back, we have a fresh, clean slate, and we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go through and separate some of this because even I haven't touched this in a while. And like I mentioned, you know, a couple like that mirror, it's kind of fucked. But there's a couple of things in there that it doesn't matter what weather it does to it, it still is fine. So we're gonna pull those out. And something I've learned, I did this a couple of months ago. I had a bunch of these like little brass figurines, different sizes, different things, but they weren't just like pieces of a pillar or something, or like part of a you know, like a faucet. They were actual figurines and like decor items and stuff. What I did was I posted them on Facebook in a lot. I just said brass lot, decor items, whatever. And I sold it for like 95 bucks. In reality, I probably would have got maybe 15, 20 bucks if I went to the scrapyard, maybe, if they deemed it all clean brass. So that's another thing too. If you don't want to sit there and list items individually, you can put them in a lot. Other people will do it and either break it down and sell them in pieces and then scrap the rest, or they'll do it because they like it and they'll keep it. The lady who picked it up, she says, I love anything brass. My mother was a collector. I collect it now. And she just has piles of brass stuff that she just likes. You know, she has animals, decor items, like, you know, kitchenware, things like that. Just tons of it. She showed me pictures. And she's like, if you ever get anything in the future, let me know. Unfortunately, I can't find her message in my Facebook marketplace, but there's people like that out there. So let me know what you do down below. Do you just straight scrap, don't look at it, just, you don't look back basically, right? Or do you take the time to notice certain pieces? I mean, Google Lens is a hell of a tool. You just quick picture, see what it is. If it actually shows a result in a name versus just like that little AI prompt, you probably got something there. And if you can see other people selling it even for 20, 30, 40 bucks, post it at 20, 30 bucks and let people say, hey, I'll give you 15 for it. Put it out on your front porch and let people come pick it up and leave the money out of the doormat. That's what we do. And guess what? It's $15 more than we would have made scrapping it because you're not making that much. It's better than just sheet metal and iron, but you're still not making that much. So that's my tangent. Comment down below, what do you guys do?